What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of our My Player Career Mode. And just before we get into today's episode, we are going to be playing 3 games in this one, and it is going to be the end of the season here with PSG. Now, I want to say, I did play this season out, right? And we did play it all. And of course, going into this first episode here, I can confirm Monaco, the first game of the episode, sorry, I can confirm Monaco did not win their game in hand, which means now, mathematically, with 3 games remaining, we are champions, right? The only issue that I kind of came across in today's episode was, firstly, you're going to watch it later on. We play our final game of the season against Marseille. As you can see there, that is the league table. So, as I said, we were 7 points clear, and we had 3 games left. So, we actually had a game in hand at this stage now. Meaning, of course, as it stood, we were champions, right? But when I went into this, the final game against Marseille, I completed it. I accidentally skipped, so I didn't see us lifting the trophy. So what I did was, I went back, I kept the footage of that, and I made sure I saved it on a second, slot, and then I went back onto the other one to then play out a game where I simmed it, basically. I kind of asked for a substitution, let the game play out, went downstairs, did some chores and stuff, came back upstairs, let the game play out so I could see us lifting the trophy, but then he didn't do it. There was no, lifting of the trophy. The only celebration we got were, us jumping around a little bit, and then that was really it. So, unless one of you guys know why in the comment section, I have no idea why we did not get to lift the trophy, but certainly we didn't even get to see us lift the French League trophy. So unless it's because I was a substitute, I don't know how that all works, but I'm pretty sure for other cup finals I have come off at some stage before and still had the ability to show it us lifting the trophy. So I can't imagine it would be that. The only thing I can think of is literally, for some reason, we don't really get to see us lift the trophy, which is mind-blowing, really. So, anyways, that's still to come in today's episode. This first one here is very much the reason why this is titled I Am Cursed. Honestly, guys, I have never hit the post so much in a single episode before than this one. We've already hit twice in this game already. We hit one from the penalty spot, which hit the post, and the one just before that. And it got even worse for us, because in the second game, we continued to hit the post. I'm in a little bit of a goal drought as well, so I'm trying to get myself out of it here, and I'm trying to do everything I can to make that happen. And of course, right now, we're still struggling to get out of that goal drought. But as you can see here, from the first game of the episode, we hit the post twice, and we were still 0-0 into the 89th minute. And then our opponents on their day decided that they had enough of being on the back foot. They wanted to come out, and in the 90th minute, they stole it. So, yeah, when I hit the post twice, it's not exactly going to help my cause with the critics and stuff. You know, having 2 sure goals, basically. The first one coming back off the post, which wasn't necessarily a sure goal because the keeper was still in net and it was a good effort. But the second one from the spot kick, needless to say, I was disappointed. So, we hit the post twice. Not only that, we then went on to lose the game by 1-0, which wasn't really the way I wanted to start this episode off. But what it does mean, of course, is that now we are 2 games away from being able to lift that trophy, or so I thought, going into it. And I didn't mean to skip it first time round, but of course I did by accident. So as I said, I basically went back in, simmed it effectively by asking for a sub so I could still see us lift the trophy, and it just didn't do it. I don't know why. Maybe you guys have got some suggestions down below in the comments section to let me know. Also, I'm going to say the same thing I have done on Wednesday's episode of the My Player Career Mode, which was actually a couple of days ago. When I'm recording this, it hasn't actually gone live yet, so of course you guys may have left your suggestions already. But if you haven't already left a suggestion, I am currently looking for a name to go with a weekly podcast kind of type thing about the Premier League. So if you've got a name for it, then leave it down as a suggestion below. If you already left it as a suggestion, you don't have to do it, but if you want to leave it again, that's completely fine with me. And I'll go check some out. Maybe I'll use it for some inspiration and give you guys credit for it once it does in fact come out. We are approaching the Premier League season, so I want to make sure that we are in tip-top form going into it, and that I have everything prepared and planned for that as well. So hopefully it'll come in the next couple of weeks, the first kind of episode of it, and then it'll probably every Tuesday or Wednesday I'll upload it at 6 o'clock time or whatever time I'm feeling, and then we'll check it out every single week and see how much it does. It'd be quite cool to do. I've always wanted something like that to be able to talk about it on a weekly basis, but yeah, it's kind of strange. Anyways, moving into the second game then of today's episode, and it's the second game before we can get ourselves into the last one to be able to lift the trophy here at PSG. But you can see we were struggling for goals, as I said. We hit the post twice already. Our form wasn't fantastic, and I thought it was going to continue here as we had the initial effort on goal go wide of the bottom corner, 7 minutes in. So at the moment, guys, we're still in the goal drought, still searching for the goals that I was hoping to get. And as it stands, we were then 4 games. If we'd have not scored here, or if we don't score here, we're 4 games without a goal, which is pretty damn crazy to see. And then 37 minutes on the clock, turn back inside, right-footed strike. Again, I just can't stop hitting the post. What on earth is wrong with me? I have no idea why. I just keep loving that post. It really is frustrating me, but we did actually end up with the first goal of the game here, 43 minutes into it. A great turn for myself, and honestly, I don't know how this went in, but it did. I was buzzing when it did it, because that means now the goal drought, or the little goal drought we're going to call it, it's over. Yes, we are not cursed anymore, even though after hitting the post 3 times in this episode so far, we finally got a goal. It only took us, what, a game and a half, and also hitting the post 3 times before we actually did find the goal, and it turns out it wasn't even like an easy goal to get. It was still quite tough. So the keeper, somewhat making a mistake, you can say, potentially should have saved it and maybe stopped myself from scoring. So I'm happy he didn't, though, because of course I want to score goals and I want to do it as best I can. And there's not really anything left to play for me personally speaking. You know, we're not looking at a Champions League final. We've still got that final to come against Lyon, which is in a couple of games time, and in terms of the league, we can't be caught. So the only thing that's left for me to do personally in playing these games is to try and bolster my strike record here at PSG as best I can do. So 50 minutes into it, when I had a chance for a second and I slid again, only to hit the post again. That's 4 times in one episode here so far. I was annoyed and tilted. But once again here, guys, we had another opportunity. I don't know what on earth that defender is thinking, sliding in like an absolute madman, as we ended up with a spot kick again. So that's 2 spot kicks in 2 games. Surely we will not hit the post again. Imagine the scenes if we hit the post again from another spot kick. But thankfully so, we didn't. We smashed it top bins, top corner, sent the keeper the wrong way. Predator celebration into the net, because for some reason that's what I decided to do. I just don't know why. It just decided last second, hey, let me do the Predator and let me also just walk straight into the net and not go any further. But anyways, decent spot kick, top corner, 2-0 up. I'm no longer cursed. 2 goals in the single game for us here as we moved in to the last game, which is where I thought we'll get to see us lift the trophy. Woo! But then, of course, I did this and realised it wouldn't. But even so, right? 2 goals there, 2-0 win, victory, and that's all I can ask for, really, isn't it? I mean, I said I wanted to bolster our attack and a goal-scoring record, and we did that there with 2 extra goals. It would have been nice to, of course, get a hat-trick, but sometimes you can't have everything you wish for, and if one of these ones that we ended up hitting the post with twice in this game here had gone in, then it would have been a hat-trick for us, but unfortunately not. And there's quite a long way here. I can't remember what I was doing at the time. I should have probably edited this out, my bad, boys. But anyways, it is kind of frustrating. I've hit the post 4 times already in this episode, so imagine if I hit it again. In fact, imagine hitting the post twice over 3 games consecutively. That would be absolutely crazy to do it. To hit the post twice in a game 3 times running. If I'd have done that, I'd have seriously gone and put the lottery on, because that odds is pretty damn mental. I'm saying that now. It's probably not even that high. But still, Ligue 1, there you go, guys. Some of the other results on your screen. Monaco with a 2-0 win against Auxerre. I've probably butchered it again. Apologies, boys. Anyways, moving into the last game here. As I said, Marseille are opponents, and we are at home for it as well. So, of course, it does mean that we would get to lift the trophy. And if you don't know as well, guys, it's not actually when you secure the title mathematically. You don't get to lift it then. You get to lift it in the final game of the season. So there is no kind of lifting it for the mathematic, I guess, securing of the title. You have to wait until the last game of the season. Otherwise, it doesn't let you do it. Even though it would make sense, I guess, for it to be mathematically, but that's not the case. It does have to be the final game of the season. And so I thought here, 37 league games down, 38 to come here, that this would mean we would get to our hands on a trophy. So the first bit of gameplay you're going to see, as I said, this is where it gets a bit confusing, guys, is actually going to be from the actual game I recorded before I accidentally skipped. So, of course, all the goals and anything that happens in this game currently still stand, because this is the one what we're actually going with. So, from the next episode, once we play that final against Lyon, I will have scored 2 goals in that game against whatever it was last game out, and whatever goals are scored here will still stand. The then little bit of the celebration that you're going to see is after I went back in and had to replay it again because I accidentally skipped it. So the scoreline will be a little bit different, and everything like that's going to be a little bit different. But it's still basically the same thing. You would still see the same celebration that you're going to get here anyways, regardless, as we did open up the scoring. Very weird fashion. Again, goalkeeping, not the strong point, it seems, in today's episode, as this one wasn't clean very much, to be fair. It wasn't the greatest strike in the world, but it did beat the goalkeeper. And it seems like our duck of goals are over now, because that is our 3rd in 2 games here so far in this episode. So I suppose overall we did score 3 and 3 in the episode, just we had to do it in over 2 games rather than in all 3. So it is what it is anyway, guys. 24 minutes on the clock and we had the opening goal. Then into the 60th minute as another good opportunity presented itself. Carrasco into myself. I managed to get past the man here, kept running through on the right foot, just opened up nicely for me. Keeper's never going to get anywhere near that. Across the goalkeeper we went, and it is PSG 2, Olympique Marseille 0. So that's what I was talking about, basically, guys. We did end up with a 2-0 win here, and then, as I said, I accidentally skipped it, so I went back in, and then once we replayed the game, or once I let it play out after I was doing something downstairs, it basically came back. We ended up winning it 1-0, and the celebrations itself just didn't lift the trophy. I don't know why. As I said, if you've got a suggestion as to why that may have been, leave a comment down below. But what I know for sure is, next episode, there'll be a trophy lifted no matter what, because one of the teams that win in that one, of course, somebody has to lift the trophy. Let's just hope I don't skip it in a little bit of frustration like I did yesterday or the other day's episode against Monaco, because that was kind of, I guess, a little bit annoying, really. I was frustrated at the time, guys, honestly. So that was a little bit of celebration you caught there. And then I was kicking myself because I skipped it like a mug. I apologise. And then I decided I can't really leave you off on that. I have to show you as lifting the trophy. So that is where I then sim the next game. And as you can see, the celebrations-wise, there was really nothing to it. I mean, the fans jumped about a little bit. We kind of clapped hands. But then there was no actual trophy lifting. Like, nothing really happened at this stage. Like, you can see the boys, like, leaving the pitch and stuff. And my lads obviously leaving out the other way. But nothing. There was no trophy lifting. There was nothing like that. There was no major celebration. Nothing. So unless it's done differently in the French league, that's all I can wonder. I mean, as you can see there, it looked as if it was just a normal game, even though, of course, this was the final league game of the season. So I apologise for that. I did genuinely try and get you guys some gameplay to show you, of course, as lifting it. That's why it's, of course, the second time around showing 1-0 rather than 2-0. But anyways, I tried my best. It didn't show up for some reason. That's going to be it for today's episode, guys. If you have enjoyed it, I'd appreciate like rating. I'm not sure if there's going to be another upload at 6 PM UK time tonight. If there is, you guys will be blessed with it. I don't know if there is right now, because as I'm recording this, I do have to go somewhere. But still, that's it from me. I will see you all hopefully again at 6. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow. Adios.